Yo, how's it going, and welcome back to another video today. And today we're going to be going through 6 tips for beginners in the Elder Scrolls Online in 2018. It's pretty late on for the Elder Scrolls, even though it still is going strong. It's an amazing game. So today we'll be going through tips that can help you choose what character you're going for, see what you like, and help you grow fast into those precious CP levels. So if you want these tips, please stay tuned in for the video. Tip number 1, early on in the game you really do want to see what you're going for. As I'm going for a tank, I'll need lots of points into health, lots of points into stamina and magicka. Since while I'm tanking, I'll need all of the resources to help us sustain my buffs and debuffs that I can cleanse and help my group. If you go and see for a magicka sorcery, you obviously need everything into magicka and maybe 1 or 2 points into health, but nobody really does that much. Some people do if you don't have high health, which isn't the worst because you get hardened ward for sorcerer. For stamina nightblade, everybody everybody puts everything into stamina because you want a lot of stamina so you can do more of the abilities in your rotation, so you don't fall flat in your face and die. But if you were say going for stamina abilities and you were going for a stamina build, what you would need is to go for stamina abilities. As you can see here, everything's magicka since I'm a dragon knight at the minute. But if I go two-handed stamina, if you were magicka use, you wouldn't use these because they have no benefit to you, and plus I think you'd be using a destruction staff anyway, unless you didn't know what you were doing, but that's why you're watching the video for. But the stamina abilities are obviously suited to your build, so if you were a magicka user you'd go high elf, which has got bonuses towards magicka, so it'd be useless using stamina anyway. So you just really want to see and get the grips with all your abilities to see what you really can use for your class and race, which benefits you greatly, so you can get the high numbers of DPS, which is always nice to have. So on to tip number 2. Right, on to tip number 2. Now tip number 2 is a pretty easy one to memorise and keep in line as you're going through the levels. And tip number 2 is, don't waste your gold early on buying gear and sets and stuff, because you don't really need crafted gear. Bought gear that's been farmed from somebody, because no doubt if you buy gear at level 24 or something like that, you'll be level 30 within a day or two, and you just wasted your money on buying that set. Now it is always good to get somebody to craft some gear for you, which is what I usually do on my own. I usually craft my own training gear for my low level characters and my low level toons and stuff like that, I need to level up quickly because it gives us extra XP gain, which is always useful and helpful. But you want to keep your gold on you. You don't want to buy items and stuff you don't really need early on. You only really need to buy sets and stuff like that you can't obtain yourself late game when you're like CP. Oh, didn't mean to do that. The CP 600, not CP 600. Where am I getting that from? CP 160. Sorry, my brain's a bit confuzzled. But that's when that is the gear cap, CP 160, and that's when you really want to start buying gear or farming it for yourself, because then it becomes beneficial and also good for getting gold if it's a good set. So basically, this is just a quick tip. Just don't buy set pieces because you'll just outgrow them. So on to tip number 3. Right, tip number 3. Tip number 3 is research your traits and your level up your crafting early as you can, because later on in the game, if you don't have a crafter, you usually have to end up paying somebody to do this. And what I mean by researching traits is, obviously you come to your blacksmithing station, you've got refine, creation, deconstruction, improvement, research. Now this is the one that can help you later on research traits, because this helps you craft set gear. See, obviously there, this is CP 160 and it's got the reinforced trait on, which is really beneficial to me because I can research that, boom, and that'll research. And now what one trait does is help me craft better set pieces, which later on in the game will require say 6 traits on 1 piece of armour to craft that specific piece, and you may need like 6 traits on each piece of armour if you need 5 of them. Obviously you need to do a lot of research for that. And by the time you've got all of the traits, you should be a high level anyway. And the next part of the tip is to deconstruct items that you don't need. Say I don't have anything I don't really need here. I'm in Maelstrom gear. Yeah, Gloom Grace Helmet, we'll take a look at that. See, because this takes your level up, and obviously you can craft, oh, nice. You can craft all of the high level gear later on, so which is beneficial to you, so you don't have to pay people and you can keep a bit of your gold, obviously apart from buying materials and stuff like that, but it will help you later on in the game. So on to tip number 4. Right, on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is do a little bit of everything, try everything out, because obviously it's still early on. I know this sort of counters my other tip number 1, sorry, but obviously see what you want to go for, because with some races you've got a lot of room where you can change your race. So obviously I know it wouldn't be the best, but I could change him to stamina DK if I want to do. Obviously he hasn't got the benefits from it, but oh, thanks Kashita, new friend, Malathan. But obviously try everything, see what you like and see what your playstyle is. If you're on your level 3, it's not hard to go on back and make another character, or look up builds and stuff, or just use this video. But obviously you can try everything. You might not like being a tank, so with Argonians you can heal. Obviously DK might not be the best choice for healing, but you could still do it, you could still pull it off. You don't have to change. Just see what you want to run with. Don't go with what everybody else is doing. Like, you don't have to. Obviously it's good DPS, because later on in the game you need to go with meta, so you can get the highest DPS, or you won't really get into trials and stuff like that. But for dungeons and overland stuff like questing and farming and doing a few dungeons that are normal, stuff like that, maybe a few vet later on in the game, you might get away with it. But just obviously see what you want to do. Don't follow a build down to a T straight away. Just see what you want to play with, and you could go from a tank to being a sorcerer because you prefer that style. Basically what I'm just trying to say is do what you enjoy to do. On to tip number 5. Right, on to tip number 5, and tip number 5 is do your daily dungeons and do your daily battlegrounds. These can really benefit with helping you level up your XP, not level up your XP, I mean actually level up your level. This will help you get the CP faster and just increase your level, and you do get really good rewards from them, which you can use for your character and your build and stuff like that. But this sort of counters my next tip, which it sort of does and it sort of doesn't, but just make sure to do these every day, like a religion. Just make sure you log on, do your daily dungeon, your battlegrounds, get them out of the way, then obviously carry on with what you need to do. It sets like a sort of mood really, because you've got everything done, so you don't have them weighing you down, like waiting for you to do them. Obviously you can do them on normal or veteran depending on your level. Usually people do normal, get them out of the way, same in the battlegrounds, but they do give you really good rewards which you can use for your character while you're building up the champion, and they are pretty good. You get some, you get a bit of gold, like off from the dungeon quest. You get a transmute system gems, some of the dungeon sets and jewellery that drop there, and some crafting materials which you can get lucky and get Debellium, which sells for around 10k, which is always good. Bit of free gold. So on to tip number 6. Right, on to tip number 6, and tip number 6 is don't try to rush the game and speed the CP like really fast on your first playthrough. On your first playthrough you really want to see what the game's about, see what you can do in the game, even see whether you like it or not, because you might not like it. You might realise, oh, I really don't like that, and then give up on the game, which I've seen a few people do. And this is probably the biggest advice I'd give to any new players. Just don't rush. Try and get a grips with the mechanics of the game, what it's like, the storyline, and just do loads of quests, hammer out quests to give you decent XP, to give you like a good amount of gold, which is always nice to have, and it just gives you time to sit back and enjoy the game as a whole before you go in doing dungeons that just want to rip your hair out, attempt Maelstrom Arena, which I hate, which I only recently got my lightning staff on. You don't really want to attempt to just rush the game straight away. You just want to sort of sit back, just say what you like about it, say what you don't like about it, and just work from there. That's more or less wraps up the video, but there's a little bit of advice as well, which is for all new players, which is always good to have, and it is to buy ESO Plus. Obviously some people like, oh, I don't have the money, I can't afford that, the minute like that, or I don't want to buy it yet. But if you can buy it and you want to try it out, go for it, because it helps you so much with all your crafting materials. As you can see, I've got a hefty chunk of crafting materials in my craft bag. I've been playing for quite a long time because I'm CP nearly 700, and like all of this is so helpful to have because it stores everything for us. This add-ons master merchant that tells the proper prices for it, but it is always useful to have later on and early on, so you can pick up everything and not worry about bag space. But it's also good to upgrade your actual bag space, which is usually cheap for the first 4 or 5 times really, until it starts to get expensive. That's more or less the video wrapped up today, so I appreciate you all coming and stopping by and watching the video. I hope it helps all of the beginners, and also if you need any further help and you're on PC EU and you need a guild to join, this is mine. So leave your at names in the description. This is for PC EU only. I'm sorry, NA and console users. If you still need some help, obviously just leave your at names in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to help you. This is your boy AGHD signing out. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.